Hello, 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 hello. I'm just letting Facebook know. Live now on YouTube. Post. Okay. Hello, hello. How is everybody? I tell you, this has been a week. And it's only Tuesday. Guys, settle down. They're quiet as little church mice until I get on the live. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do today very quickly. What I need to do is figure out where I can see my comments. I don't know why I can't see my live on YouTube, except for the fact that I can't subscribe to myself, so I can't see when it goes live. Okay, I can't see when it goes live. So we are what we are. Hey, Carla. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Carice. Carice, can you please tell me how to say your name so I don't butcher it? Anybody? Let's see. No, I know Carla's in Georgia. Oh, I guess I probably shouldn't say that. Vicky, I know where you are. Carol, I know where you are. Hey, Carol. Here comes the hand. The dirty hand. He's been working. I'm trying to get seated on my stool. I'm on YouTube only tonight. I didn't want to jack with Facebook. It was making me upset. Facebook has been a pain. Hey, Christine. Facebook has been a pain, guys. So, how many of you have seen Paula McCoy, Colors for Earth? Her and I did a little collaboration a while back for her for when she went to Michael Harbridge's retreat event, whatever you want to call that. I worked with her and made her form for the paddle. We call it Paula's Paddle. It's on my website. Those that were going to take the class with her, she came and picked up those forms and stuff to take with her. But Long Eye Carice. Okay, Long Eye must be Carice. Hey, Sharon O. Anyway, so I collaborated with Paula on creating that form. And that form looks like, man, I've got my thing on it. I've got my thing on it. So I'm going to flip this way. And I hope I don't drop the thing off of it. So the form looks like a paddle. And those that did not go to her class have asked, what do I do with, how do I make that? Okay, so Paula, I believe, made those before she went, but took the forms for people who wanted to make their own. So I've had people say, well, how do you make those? Carice. Okay, so am I getting closer? Is it Carice? So I decided that I would do Paula's Paddle tonight to show you how to make it. And I'm going to show you what she did with it, maybe, if I can find where I did it. Let's see, is it that? No, not that. There. So this is what Paula did on this form. She did that rooster, painted that rooster. And I am going to put the link for you. You can see it right there, Colors for Earth. But I'm going to put the link for you in the description so that if you want to get Paula's video, step-by-step how to paint by hand that rooster, you can do that. She also did this, I think. Can you see this now? I can't see my my video to see where I'm at. Okay, yeah, you can see that. Okay, so this is the other one that she did. She painted flowers on this form. So I will put a link to that as well. This one, I believe, was a live YouTube video, so I don't believe that there's a cost on that. So let me go back to me. Me. So that's Carice. Got it. Hey, Cindy-O. And Nancy, hello. Okay, so yeah, I decided to just do YouTube tonight because Facebook has been such a pain. And Instagram, you have to sit within this little bitty square and work like this, and I can't do that. So what I'll do is I'll post this video after the end of the live. I'll post it up on Facebook as a replay. But we're live right now. Do I have anybody in line of the new hurricane? Because we want to make sure we keep you in our thoughts and our prayers before that comes. Okay, so you saw what Paula did. Well, she hand paints all the strokes. So I took a little bit of a shortcut. And so, let me see, do I have anybody in? Nobody's saying if they're in the line. I know most of you are not in Florida. I know we have Misty in Florida. I do not see her on. I know Melody's off camping and they have a place in Florida, but I don't know if she's in Florida or Colorado. They like to go there too, so I'm not sure where they are. But if you're in Florida, be ready. That's all I can say. Okay. Cindy, I've seen a lot of your posts lately. You've been busy. We are going to be doing, hey Renee, we are going to be changing up the website. I've gotten caught up. I'm going to try to get the website finished up so I can start those subscription boxes. And we're going to be doing a giveaway. That's all coming up. Bill, it's going left of us in Florida. We should be okay. Bill, I did not know you were in Florida. Well, I am glad it's going to go to the left of you guys. How did I not know you were in Florida? Well, but I didn't. Okay. Cindy, you're in, yes, I know you're in Alabama. We will be driving to Port Canaveral on Friday for a cruise going through Georgia. Oh, yes. You could swing, you could wave hi to Carla in Georgia. Central Florida. Oh, good. So you're not by the coast. Well, that's good. Okay. So, as I mentioned, we're going to use Paula's, not Paula's, but Paula and I collaborated and created that paddle. In fact, I talked to her while she was driving today. And, man, that girl has got to slow down. She is destroying her body with all these cracked ribs and hurt knees and all that kind of stuff. And then when I created this project, how many of you know somebody's driving and you send them a text anyway, and you start the text off by saying, don't read this while you're driving? How silly is that? I did that. I did that to Paula. I sent her a picture of the two projects we did tonight. And then because we had talked about it while she was driving before that. So I sent her the pictures when I got finished. And I prefaced it with, don't look at this while you're driving. Okay, that was really bright, right? All right, so I'm going to show you. I tried to keep it in the theme of what Paula did, just for fun. Just for the fun of it's a rooster. Actually, I can't tell if mine's a rooster or a chicken. Yes, Penny. Thank goodness North Carolina. Are you on the coast or just within North Carolina? You know, my sister lives, or I have a sister that lives in North Carolina. Haven't talked to her in a while, and she's not far from the coast. Okay, so keeping in the theme with Paula, just because, just for the fun of it, to show people how to create the actual form, I thought I would stay close to what Paula did, but then of course different. Paula does all the brush strokes. I used a stencil because for me, it was quick and easy and it looks good and it's great for craft shows. You don't spend a whole lot of time and you have a gorgeous product for a craft show. So let me start first with showing you how to create the form. This one is, I don't want to say tricky, but there's a little tip in here of something different. So keep your eyes out for this tip. Here we go, video 1. Okay, let's get started. Let me grab my water bucket here. I'm going to compress my slab of clay. This happens to be B-Mix. It's about a 1/4 inch thick. And I use my yellow rib. Now I like to, I hold it by the hole so that it'll have some loose hold. And I do dip it in my water just barely, just so it will glide across the clay just a little bit better. I want to compress this. Now I roll my clay out on a slab roller and I do not use, let me keep my head out of the way today. I do not use a canvas. I use a printer's blanket. Therefore, I don't get canvas marks, but I still like to compress this clay. Although the way I roll it, it probably does not need it. It's just a good habit to be in. And I probably don't need a slab this big either. All right. I'm going to work with a collaboration I did with Paula McCoy, Colors for Earth. This is Paula's paddle. She did a class where she painted a rooster on here and it was just beautiful. And I'm going to add a link to that video for you if you want to hand paint using Color for Earth and using watching her video painting her rooster. It's the rooster. If you go to my website and go to I think it's under specialty sets, Paula's paddle, there's a picture of that rooster. And so this was our collaboration to make that paddle. I, however, am not going to compete with Paula's painting because I'm going to lose. So what I've done is created a stencil that I have seemed to misplace at the moment, but I'll have it when we're ready for it. And it is going to be a flowered chicken. So if you want to paint along with Paula, I'm going to add that link. And if you want, I don't know, I guess I call it more instant gratification where you roll the stencil on and paint inside the lines and don't have to draw them, then I have a stencil for that. But I'm going to show you multiple ways to use this. So it's not just a paddle, if you will. All right, so let me put my peg in. These also have pegs, and these also have pegs. Where's my hole? There it is. There it is. Okay, so it's all lined up. So I'm going to take this slab of clay. I'm going to lift it very easily and move this over so you can see. I'm simply going to plop this on here. Plop. So that I can, this clay's been sitting for a week or so. As you've noticed, I I will roll out a bunch of clay and then I don't get to it. All of Paula's colors. All right, I'm going to take my little red rib, dip it in water as well, and I'm going to swoop. And by swooping, I hold my hand on my clay and I use my rib and I kind of swoop around here to pull that clay down and get it I don't press it really hard, but I get it what I call snugged down so that my clay will not move. And I go around several times just to get that down. Now I have no texture on the inside of this, so this isn't going to hurt my texture. I'd be a little more ginger with it if I had texture in here. Come around this neck. All right, and that's good. That's all I need to do to that. However, I'm not going to put a foot on this, so I will take my yellow rib and go across the top because I do want this compressed and I do want it nice and flat, just like that. So now I'm going to take my my red rib, I'm going to dip it in the water and I'm going to bend it and I'm going to come around the top here. If you noticed, I lifted up and didn't go around the top of the neck because it wouldn't matter if you did. It would just leave more of an impression in there, and that's going to be my handle. So I didn't want that deep impression there. So I simply picked up right there, and I didn't go over this top part like that, because I'm going to work on that neck when I turn it over. Okay. Now Sharon lost her sponge as well, but I have these, so I'm just going to use that. Oh, there's my sponge. I have the Mud Tool smoothing sponge. I like those better than the craft sponges that come in your kit because those tend to leave little crumbs all over my pieces. And could be me, but I don't like that. So I'm just going to smooth that down. I see I've nicked it. I don't know if I hit it with where'd it go? I don't know if I hit it with a fingernail, but I had a little nick in it. So there. Now it's all nice and gone. All right. I'm going to take my, well, I was going to take my needle tool. I have it back at the laser, but I have a spare. All right, so I'm going to take my zine tool, and first thing I'm going to do is simply run around the outer edge just to get the biggest part of that off. Just to get it somewhat out of my way. I'm going to lay this aside. Now I'm going to come and I'm going to go in and hit that template. Notice how I just hold the clay with my thumb. And I know this hangs slightly over the edge. So I just went out a little bit, and I'll go fix that when I'm finished, because I know I didn't follow the template on that completely. So now I'll come over here and I'll clean up and follow it better. Just like that. And I see nothing to clean up on the rest of it, except where I must have hit it with my arm. Okay, so there's the beginning of Paula's paddle. I'm going to wring out my sponge. I don't want it dripping. I just want it really wrung out. And I'm just going to come around this outer edge just lightly to soften it. It's easier to do it now than later. And again, I can't even wring this out anymore, so I'm not putting a bunch of moisture in this clay. I'm simply softening that edge while I have the easiest access to it. And if you take a little time now on this, you will find that your cleanup afterwards is a whole lot easier. So why not take a couple minutes now and soften that edge? You could even, if you want, wet your finger and just kind of go around that outside edge and soften it. Just like that. I think my sponge even holds less water than my finger, but that rounds it nicely as well. All right, so that is it, except I want to put my stamp on this. Oh, here it is. I want to put my stamp on this. I'm going to put it down in this little corner. All right, now I'm just going to leave this, set it aside, and let it set up. You saw last time. Here's what's left of my burn. It's pretty deep. I don't know if you can see how deep that is, and that's from the Band-Aid. But so I'm not going to use my heat gun. I'm just going to let this dry, and we'll be back as soon as that sets up. Oops, wrong way. Me. Okay. I don't know why it came up to that other one. It should not have. All right. So I've recovered from my burn. That was a big, tall blister. So I don't want to use my heat gun. And before I show you the actual project, I want to show you the finishing touches to making this paddle awesome. And if you noticed, what I said was when I came around with the rib, I didn't press down on where this was, but I need this in here because this gives me where the handle's going to swoop out, but I didn't want to press hard and get that mark in there. So I came around. Now watch what I'm going to do when I flip it over to really set that paddle in. So let's take a look at flipping the paddle. And Bill, if you're still on, at the end, I'm going to show a sequel to the symmetry rolling pin. Are we ready to flip this bad boy? All right, I'm going to just set this on here. I like to stick my needle tool underneath there and lift that up. It's easier for me. Take my peg out. And I'm going to flip this over. It's probably a little bit early, but that's all right. Lift it out. And what a beautiful paddle. Yeah, this is a little early, but that's okay. I'm going to mess with that. I'm going to take my sponge. This was my sample one, and we had the hole off. So your hole is fine. But I keep all the rejects, and I work with them because if I can work with the rejects, then our customers could work with the good ones. So I always do some major testing. I see one little spot here that doesn't have the width like the other ones. Nobody would probably notice but me. But to fix that, I simply take my rib and go across it just like that. I'm holding it up on the bottom. And then it's got the width as the rest of it. So I could actually pull this right out. I wouldn't need my plucker doodad because it's easy to get to. Although, of course, I did stick a little finger in it. But how's that for a nice little paddle? Now, you can leave the handle just like this if you want. You could lift it up, curl it down, however you want to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and wet my sponge and lightly got my hand underneath here in a curve, and I'm just going to lightly press this in to swoop this in to match where that form was. I can do that with my thumb. And then I'm going to hold this straight. There you go. Now it actually looks like a skillet, but how's that? It's just perfect. And that actually gives it a little more strength. So there's your platter. Next, we're going to come back and see what we're going to put inside of it. Okay, so I guess I should pull me down a hair. There, wrong. Okay, so I swooped that, the little handle part, I swooped it so it matched the swoop inside. I didn't want that all nice and rounded and then a flat handle. So it was super simple to do, super quick to do. And you may ask, well, why didn't we just add a handle here? Well, because if we tried to add a handle to this, one little drop and it was just going to break off. And this was just as easy and actually gives more versatility to this form. So, and by giving more versatility, I'll show you something here in just a minute. But let's look at what I'm going to put inside this to start with. We're back with our Paula's paddle. Looks like a skillet, a little tray. And here is what I'm going to put in there. My version of Paula's chicken. I'm going to center that in there. Look at that chicken. And I'm just going to get that in there. Try not to hit the sides. Sticking with our theme of last week. I just roll this. I like to see the clay come out over the top of the stencil. That way I know I got it in there really well and it's not going to go under. My colors will not go under. So I'm just getting this in here really well. Let's see, just right here. And I can't get that little spot down, so what I'm going to do, just because I don't want to hit the sides, so what I'm going to do is press it down with a rib. And everything else is good. So I just used a little bit of the rib to press that down, and I see a little spot right there that will probably be easier easier with the rib. All right. I know I'm a fuss bucket, but oh, is that not going to be cute? Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so what do you think of that? Is it a chicken or is it a rooster? That daisy on its tail, I can't tell if it's a chicken or a rooster. Okay, so the next video is of me coloring, using Paula's color concentrates, coloring that chicken in. But before I go into that, because that's kind of like a long video, I think it was like 20 minutes for me to do that. But you gotta admit, 20 minutes on decorating is not that much. So before we do that, I'm going to show you another little project that you could do with that same Paula's paddle. And I'm going to use the sequel to the Symmetry rolling pin. So let me skip to that, and then we'll come back at the end and color this chicken rooster. Chicken rooster, I tell you, it's the chicken rooster. Let me see. I think it's this video. Here we go. I see you peeking. Okay, it's a bonus. I see you peeking. Okay, I want to show you something else we could do with Paula's paddle real quick. In doing that, I'm going to introduce you the sequel. We have, let me grab it. Oh, I don't have it in here. I have my, the Symmetry pen. And this one is called the sequel, or the sequel to Symmetry. And it's very different, but a lot alike. So you could do collection type things. So I'm going to roll this. This clay is really old, so I'm going to have to give it some pressure. I don't want to get in the camera. But look at this. There we go. The sequel. Oh, look at this baby. Look at some of this texture. Look at this. All right. Oops. I wonder. Oh, I was hoping I could fit it and save a bunch, but I can't. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this down here. For this project, you would certainly want to roll a thick slab of clay. And this one is super, super simple. And again, you would want this to be a thick slab of clay. And I have my circle cutters down here. I take this off. I'm going to move this. Over out of the way. And I'm going to take my little hole cutter and I'm just going to, oh, that'll be good, right in the middle of that flower. Just like that. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. You see me throwing stuff down here all the time. I have a trash can, but that one didn't fall in the trash can. All right. And then I'm going to very lightly go around this edge. And I'm not going to pick this up. I'm going to let this sit here. And so let me bring the camera. So what you have here is a cheese board or charcuterie board, however you say that. Personal little cheese board. And look at that gorgeous design on there. So I could actually, I'm gonna leave that flat right there for now. And then what I'll do tonight is I'll put a board over the top of this with a weight on it and let this start drying flat. But look at that gorgeous charcuterie board, which looks totally different from our other project that we did tonight. And I'm going to go around and do something, a design around here. And I'm probably going to use this beautiful blue. Again, this blue was peacock blue. I'll probably use the blue in another color, and I don't know which one yet, but I love that. So I'll do something around here. But one template, cheese board, charcuterie board, a skillet or a Paula's paddle. So very versatile. You can do many things with our products. We try to make them very usable in all kinds of things. And to do that, all you have to do is let your imagination run wild and think outside the box. And guys, keep on swooping. Okay, so by taking these videos out of order, you kind of saw what I did. And I'm going to show you. So I sat here and I did something, and then I looked and I'm like, nah, I don't like that. So I did more, and then I did more, and I think I overdid it. But let me show you what I ended up with for the chicken. Do I not have that on? There you go. There's the chicken. I think it's easier to see it this way. So again, I was trying to stay in this theme of Paula's, but my way. And I have dots. It's hard to see because they've dried, but I have 3 little turquoise dots and then 2 little green dots, which will show up once it's fired. But I think I have my little designer liner. I may go around and separate some of that. I'm not sure. But let me show you when I pulled the stencil off. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put on the video of coloring everything in. And if you want to watch that, you can. And if you don't, that's fine, because you saw me do the same thing on the what I did last week. So let me show you removing the stencil, because that's always fun. We are ready to unveil this beauty. I'm going to find a good, easy piece, but I want kind of a big area. So I'm going to go under this feather. I'll have to fix a little piece. And look at that. Now, I do need to fix that little tiny piece where I stuck my needle tool in there. There, all gone. And what do you think? That is going to be gorgeous when it's fired. That will be gorgeous. I'm going to decorate this edge. But look at this. Paula's paddle with the Sharon chicken. Paula's paddle with the Sharon chicken. All right. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave the dots. All these dots, these down here for sure I'll leave, but I'm not sure if I want to leave all of those. What do you think? Sand off the blue dots? Is it too much? Let me know. Sorry. Let me know what you think in the comments. Too much on the blue dots? Oh, and by the way, you can't see it, but right there is a beak. And when it fires, it should fire orangey yellow and show up. It just doesn't show up very well on the camera. So, what do you think on dots? Leave the dots up here or take some of them out? The bottom dots are 2 types of green for little leaves or blades of grass. And anybody out there? Nobody's out there? I guess I'm not getting updates here. And Bambi, hi, I see you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some out. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It was way too much. You know, you get sitting here and I may add some black squiggle lines in there. Diane, you like the dots? All the dots? Hey, I didn't even see you on, sweetie. I hope you're doing good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, oh, hey guys, I may start doing my lives and put in here what you think. I would make the outside border solid blue and leave the blue dots in. A bit too busy. Okay, that's a good idea. And that is one of my habits is I don't stop when I should, and I know that. And the other thing is, I think take some of the upper dots out. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I thought too. I will do that, guys. Okay, and then another thing I'm contemplating is doing my lives earlier in the day. And let me tell you why. And I know a lot of you do work. Don't forget to press like. Oh, thank you. And I'll tell you why I'm thinking about moving it up in the day. It is very hot here in Texas. And we have been getting up at 3:30, 4:30, 5:30 at the latest in the morning to get working. And Mr. Wilson's in the shop. And, you know, I can't have him go out in the shop and me lay in bed. So, you know, we're both up and working. And so by this time of night, I'm like, I want my bed. So I'm thinking I'm going to move it up in the day. There will always still be the replays. I'm still available. Which size paddle am I using? I am using the large one, I believe. I have a tape measure right here. Woo. Yes, I am using the large one. The small was just a little too small. And I wanted to give you a better view of this pen. I added more decor. The original one was mostly more straight lines than anything. So I added a whole bunch of really fun stuff in there. And it really makes an awesome print. So I called it The Sequel. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, the painting or glazing is simply watering down her colors and patting it into the stencil. The large is 13.5. Yes. My stuff isn't always the exact size because oh, I got the Ghost Daisy pen and I'm in love with it. Oh, awesome. So this, I don't always have the exact size that I work with because I'll work with something and then go, oh, it's a little small. Oh, it's a little big. And so we'll change the size for when it actually goes out. And that's very likely what happened with this one. But here is how many of you laughed at me when I was trying to say charcuterie board? That's why I call it a cheese board. But wouldn't that be a magnificent cheese board to hand people, guests, if you're having a little party and you're just having little appetizers and things like that, and they can carry their own and set it on there. I just love it. All right, I am going to start the video of the glazing, but I am going to sign off, and then I'll close out when that is done. It's like 20 minutes, and so if you want to stay on and watch, that's great, and if not, it will be there and available for the replay. It was great seeing y'all. Wanted to show you versatility, and I will see you next week. Oh, I was going to hit the finish button. Shame on me. Let me let me put the video on, and I will see you guys next week, though. Okay, I have some colors left over from when I did my thing last week. When I did the plate last week, let me grab that for you. When I did this one. There you go. So these are those same colors. So I'm just going to reconstitute them. Oh, look. We have our hexagon hybrid deep is going to be coming out. I got to test it. And our triangle deep. This is just like the piece of glass that I showed you guys a couple years ago that I did when I made the single of that. All right, so what I'm going to do is put some water in these and get them wet. I'm just putting water in all of them, and then I'll add more color because I'm going to need it. Okay, so this is sunflowers, which is color concentrates 123. I probably won't do a lot with that. I may not add that one. I am going to do a blue flower this time. So I'm going to do peacock blue. So I'm going to put that in there. I'll add water to that in a minute. This green, I loved this, and it was the CC 164 Mountain Pine. I'm going to add that in there because we have several leaves. And as you see, I don't have to worry so much because I can let them dry out and reconstitute. This is Color Concentrates 160 Key Lime. And we have orange. This is actually CC 116 Florida orange. Those of you in Florida, be careful. Pay attention to the weather. CC 111 red geranium is what I used here. Come out. There we go. And I'm going to use that for his little thing. Okay, so I think, oh, I know what I want. And I have burnt umber here, which is Color Concentrates 180 burnt umber, because I want to do his feet. Now I just grabbed several of brushes that I got from Paula. This is the Sumi Medium, Sumi Mini, Sumi Large, and Sumi Small. So I think I got this in a 4-pack, and I think I'm going to start from the middle in, and these aren't very big flowers. So I'm going to start with my Sumi Small, And I'm going to do a pretty peacock blue daisy. This is the one I never added anything to. You could use your medium. I just didn't find mine, so I'm using a little bit of water. Sorry, Paula. All right, and I'm just gonna lay this in here. And I want to stay within my stencil bounds, my stencil boundaries. I could have used her stencil brushes and done that method, but I decided to do this way again. I think this is going to be really pretty. And this might take a while, so I may speed some of this up because nothing's going to change on how I'm doing it. We'll see. There's a lot. I got a lot on my brush, so I'm just kind of sharing the wealth here into the other petals. And I'm being very careful not to rest on the sides of this Paula's Paddle form. And you have some leeway. That's the one thing I like about these stencils. You have some leeway on the outside because you've got that stencil. So if you go slightly out of the lines, you're probably on the stencil and it's okay. This one is a very delicate, very thin stencil because I wanted these flowers to be, the lines separating the flowers to be really delicate. I think I'm going to go with this great big flower. Wait, that's his tail. That's his flower. But I think that tail, I'm going to pretend like it's part of the flower. It's your rooster. So I'm going to use this blue in here as well. I want this to float in just a little more, so I added a little more water. Now here I can go over the stencil because when it comes out, it'll show me that line, so that's fine. And this is a petal. This one is a petal right here. And this is a petal right here. You'll see it more when I take the stencil off. This is a petal. It's hard to find all the petals. This one is a petal. So who is on the call that is in Florida preparing for this new hurricane that's on its way? Put it in the chat if you or someone you know is in the path of this new hurricane so that we can all keep you in our thoughts. Now I did get a little bit outside that line and I want to clean that up right now while it's wet. So I simply grab the tip of a wet brush and got that out. It's okay to make mistakes. You just got to learn how to fix them. And I'm the queen of that, so keep watching. I'm sure I'll make some more. There. What do you think that's going to be like? All right. Let's go for a orange. Peach. Nope, this was the orange. I'm going to do this little tulipy flower in that. And let's see, should we do, oh, we're almost out of flowers. I think I want that one to be red. So, no, yeah. Although that's going to match the little thing. Who knows what that thing on that chicken's called? I'm using geranium now. And I'm using that on the whole beginning of the whole chicken. This will go faster than I thought it would, right? All right. Let's get the rest of this. This is what Paula paints everything kind of freehand. And this is my quick and easy method. So I started toll painting, which is a lot of those kind of strokes that Donna uses. I mean, not Donna uses. Sorry, Paula uses. I started toll painting when I was pregnant with my daughter. She's 37 now. I was on complete bed rest because she was trying to come out the day she was conceived, I think. And so I started toll painting back then. And that's what I would do, is sit and toll paint all day long. Which may be why I haven't done any of that with this. I love what Paula does. I need to start practicing some of that again. It's been so long. But I love the stroke work that Paula does. So if I had time to sit down and do that, I certainly would. This is, like I said, just my version of quick and dirty. And let's do the rose. I did my version of shading last time where I just plop other colors over the top. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to put the colors on. I say that, maybe I will. So we got that place at the lake because we have to start getting away. We just never get away. When we went over there, our first trip, which was the last weekend, we never even saw a single sunset. All we did was sleep. That's how pitiful we were. We did nothing but sleep. We're going to try. We've got our orders almost caught up. I'm going into mountain pine, and then I also have a little bit of key lime. So I'm going to do some of these both ways. Let's see. I'll do these. Anyway, we've got our orders almost caught up. We're gonna try to go over sometime next week so that I've got some time to sit and work on my website that is just a wreck, and see if maybe we can do something besides just sleep and actually watch a sunset. It's so pretty over there in East Texas is where that's at. It's on one of the best fishing lakes in all of Texas. They have, in fact, this weekend we're not over there because they're having a very large bass tournament, and we didn't want to be around for that because that's going to be a nightmare. How long have we been going on this? 15 minutes so far to paint this baby. That's not bad considering what's going to happen when we unravel or unveil this. Okay, now I'm going to go into this limey green, key lime, and I'm just going to I know I said I wasn't gonna, but I'm just gonna dab a little in there. And then I'm gonna come over and get these leaves. Have to pay attention what's leaves and what's supposed to be blank. We're actually supposed to be chicken. Chicken. Where's my, oh, huh? You see? I missed a petal right there with the red. But let's go back and grab that petal. There we go. I'm going to take this yellow and hit the centers. And then I'm going to get a little bit of this burnt umber, and I'm going to take that actually into this yellow because I want a lighter color for his feet. That's probably too brown. Oh, just heard my machine end. You know, I try to talk to you while I'm doing this. Sometimes I forget that I'm on camera and I just get into what I'm doing and forget to talk. So if you'll put comments in the chat and talk to each other, that would also be good. All right, now we've got a feather. What color? You know what? Let's take and do this deep cream. That's too close to the pink. What color is this? Oh, burnt umber. I don't want that. Sienna. I don't want that. That's what I should have used, though. Sunflowers. Let me grab another color real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I just grabbed the first thing I found, which was CC 142, which was blueberry. Just going to put a couple drops on here. Let's see if I can get done what I need to do with just this. And I'm going to get this feather with this light blueberry color. I really watered this one, which is really more the correct way to do it. So you save on your colors. Don't watch me do this, Paula. You're going to have a cow. There was nothing on my brush but that. All right. Now, what's left over is the chicken. Let me go with some of the sunflower for his beak. And then we're going to fill in the chicken. Boy, that's going to be rough. I'm getting a little yellow and a tiny bit of orange to get his little beak. Just to get this there. All right, now I need to go find some white so that I can get the chicken, the inside of this chicken, and I'll be right back. Oh, you know what? I guess maybe I didn't turn the video back on after I went and got the white. I did not. Huh. Well, you saw the finished piece. And as you can see, I'm already taking the color off the sides. So I will post in the morning what I ended up doing on this. But in the meantime, we will see you all next time. Paul McCoy, don't be watching my lives while you drives. Save it for the replay. See y'all.